Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So figured I'd do a video on solar. I get so many questions on how big my system is, where I got my system from, did I install it myself or did I have it installed, have I had any problems with it. I've been running solar here at the house now for about 2 years. If this is your first time watching the channel, we live in Central America in Belize. We live in Cayo district in the Maya Mountains. We are completely off grid. We rely on rainwater and solar power to get us through everything that we need to get through. And it has been phenomenal. I get a lot of questions of people asking, are we really off grid? So I'm gonna go ahead and pan the camera around here and just kind of give you a little tour of our property and show you that we are completely off grid out here. So as you can see, I can come out here to the road real quick. If you want to call it a road, it's a dirt road that was cut by a dozer. There's nobody in sight. There's no power poles anywhere out here. There's nothing. You can see the solar panels all the way back. Even coming down to the back side of the property. You can see there's another cistern for water catchment. All the livestock that we have. Yes, we are completely off grid. The nearest power pole is probably 5 miles away from us. So, needing power out here, solar. Let me tell you what, if I would have known how great solar is, I would have done it a long time ago, especially in the States, just to curb my electric bill. Solar has been a lifesaver for us. If you're coming to Belize, or really anywhere for that matter, if you're going to live in an area that doesn't have a guaranteed power grid, and what I mean by that is it's constantly losing power like it does here in Belize, or you're going to live in an area where there's no power at all, solar power is definitely going to be the way to go. Let me tell you what, since I've had solar power, I'm absolutely amazed at the amount of energy that you can draw, collect, and store from the sun. So let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm going to go over who I chose, why I chose them, and tell you a little bit about my system and everything that it runs here on the homestead and how great it's been. So let's go ahead and get into the video, guys. All right, guys, so let's talk solar. So the area that we chose to live in, as you can see behind me, one of the reasons that we chose to live where we live is because, one, it's in the middle of nowhere, it's very quiet, got a lot of wildlife, away from the tourist area, and it's just peaceful out here. Now, the downfall is there's no water and there's no power that's run out to areas like this. So we had to come up with different ways to make that happen. You know, and of course, you can live without power, but you can't live without water. So water, we use rain catchment, which is cisterns and stuff, and I've done some videos on that. But power was, you know, one of the things that that we didn't want to go without. We didn't want to live like we were in the Stone Ages. So I started researching solar. And when I tell you that I was researching solar, before I actually purchased the system that I purchased, I researched solar here in Belize for almost 10 months. And I went to every single different company. I went to everybody that had listing that was on Facebook Marketplace, from the little guys to the big guys. I literally tell you, when I researched every company, then I researched the equipment that they were selling, talked to other people that had systems by them. After, like I said, 9 or 10 months of research, I decided to go with the company that I went with. Now, the size system, depending on what you want to run, I started with a 5,000 watt system. I still have a 5,000 watt system, and that 5,000 watts has been more than enough for me and my wife. It produces enough electricity during the day. On a sunny day, we average from 16 to 22,000 watts that we produce in the house. plus it fills up the battery bank, which gives us power at night, and we have 20,000 watt hours of that, and we rarely ever run through that because we don't run the AC at night. We normally have a couple ceiling fans going. As you can see behind me, it's windy. The area that we are in stays windy because we're higher up in the mountains. In the afternoon when that sun goes down, it cools off right away. So in almost 2 years, we have never had to run the AC at night. We do run it during the day, but it's free. It doesn't cost us anything. So when it comes to solar, you're going to have to figure out what you're going to be wanting to run, and that's going to define what size system that you're going to need. So once you find out what size system that you're going to need, you're going to have to also figure out, okay, now are you going to want to have power at night, or is it just power during the day? Because I will tell you what I learned during my research. Realistically, the most expensive thing in a solar system is going to be the storage facility, what I mean by that is your batteries. The batteries are hands down the most expensive components of a solar system. They cost money, but they're worth it if you want power at night and you don't want to be in the dark. And I've learned so much through this. So the system that I have, once again, it's a 5,000 watt system, and it produces more than enough electricity that we need here on the homestead in Belize. You know, and one of the big things too when I was researching is it wasn't just price, but being in Belize, not everything's on the up and up. And a lot of people, you know, are just interested in getting your money right off the top, you know, and then after that, they're just going to let you down and don't care about you. And fortunately, I haven't actually run into this yet because I do my research, but I know a lot of people that have run into this. And that's why I do a lot of these videos, because like I said, I do not get paid to do these videos. I do these videos because I want other people that are like-minded like me or getting ready to do exactly what we're doing not to have to go through that much research or the headaches that I had to go through to find out all this information. So I'm going to leave in the description, I'm going to leave the company that I use, their contact information, and of course, you can find them on Facebook. Now, one of the main reasons why I went with, the company's name is Green Tech Pros, and you can find them on Facebook. Green Tech Pros. Now, one of the main reasons why I went with Green Tech Pros because of all the looking around that I did at first. This was the only place that had upfront pricing. They had like a little brochure on their Facebook page, and they told you what the basic systems cost. Now, add-ons, additional, all that adds up to more money. But if you just wanted a base cost of what the system was going to cost you without having to give your email address and your last of kin and maybe some blood and hope that somebody gets back with you, if you just wanted to get an idea of what a system was going to cost you when you were doing your own research, it was great to have that. Because let me tell you what, you will get the runaround here in Belize from people. I've had some of the biggest companies here in Belize that do solar. Some actually the biggest companies in Belize that do solar. I have literally walked into their office, talked to people at the front when they're on lunch, because for some reason, everybody likes to take a lunch at the same time. I still haven't figured that one out here, but it is what it is. So, and I've left my name and number and never even had a return phone call, or I've called and left messages and never had a return phone call. And the reason why I think that is because if you're not some big resort out there on the Cays or the islands, if you're not spending $100,000+, they just don't want to deal with you. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news for those companies, but you get one, maybe two big contracts every year, but your bread and butter are the little guys like me and the other guys out there who are just trying to get information and want power if they're off the grid. So I'm telling you right now, if you're looking at these super big companies, it's not your way to go here in Belize. You want to stick with the littler guys who are going to take care of you. And let me tell you what, from the minute that I met Jeremiah at Green Tech Pros, and he's across a road over there in the Central Farm area now in the Cayo district, but from the first time I met him, It made me feel comfortable, but I was upfront with them about, you know, I was kind of nervous because it was a lot of money. It's an investment. I don't like being ripped off. I don't want to be ripped off. I don't want to be in that situation. And I was very, very hesitant, but I needed power, and he made me feel comfortable, and I ended up going with him. And let me tell you what, I do not regret it at all. I had never had solar in my life, and one of the most scariest things for me was to have a solar system set up and kind of be explain how to use it and given a user's guide, and then the guys, you know, take off, and then you're just sitting there and it's a bunch of buttons and different settings and you're trying to figure it out, and it can be overwhelming. And I had so many questions right off the bat, and let me tell you what, every time I sent a message, I got a message back. I was never ignored once. That is a huge deal when you're spending a lot of money. You want to feel appreciated, not just, oh, well, I got your money and now I'm just going to move on to the next. So I can tell you from my experience, Jeremiah, the guys at Green Tech Pros, every time I sent a message, they got back with me. They walked me through it. Even after business hours, if I had a problem with a setting and I was trying to figure it out, he would send me a WhatsApp message, and not just in writing, he would take a picture of the manual and tell me exactly what it needed to be on. And that solved so many of my headaches. And of course, these are electronic components. You can have problems with them. People have problems with them. Some people don't. I happen to be the person that had one problem with one of my pieces of equipment. And no, it did not leave me without power. It was a problem, but it did not leave me without power. But let me tell you what, they went above and beyond, and they fixed the issue even when they didn't have to. Let me tell you that again. They fixed the issue even when they didn't have to. And that meant the world to me. And that's why I refer so many people when they call me and say, hey, who did you use for solar? Green Tech Pros. Ask for Jeremiah. Hands down. Go to Green Tech Pros. Ask for Jeremiah. Why? Because if you go with somebody else, you're probably going to be left sitting there in the dark, waiting on a phone call for a week. And that's even if they want to get back to you. Or you're probably going to have to pay a stupid amount of money for somebody to come out to your place and fix it, or to even tell you what's wrong. Let me tell you what, that's not the case at all. So if you want to feel comfortable, if you want to go with somebody who I feel has been on the up and up and is a good businessman and who never left me in the dark and who was always up front from day one, go with Jeremiah at Green Tech Pros. And once again, like I said, all his pricing is there either on his website or on his Facebook page. You can go right to it and it'll show you his upfront pricing of what it is. Because the other thing that you don't want to have to worry about is gringo pricing. I'm going to say it. You know, you send a message and somebody sees your profile or whatever, or your name. A lot of these people here, that wheel starts turning in their head. They're like, oh, give them the gringo pricing. And I've had that happen to me numerous times. Not only do they lose my business, I never send one person their way. And I can tell you, I've had numerous people that have went to Green Tech Pros through me and are getting solar installed on their off-grid locations here in Belize to have power. And it makes me feel good to know that they're going to go with somebody that I know that they can trust. So yes, if you're looking to get solar, check out Green Tech Pros. They're in the Cayo district. Ask for Jeremiah. Send him a message. He will get back to you. His pricing is fair. It's up front. And his guys, when they come out to do the installs or you need help, man, it's actually nice to see them. They always have a smile on their face. And like I said, in these times, it's hard to find people that stand behind their work. And these guys definitely stand behind their work. So that's my case. I got a 5,000 watt system. I got it from Green Tech Pros in the Cayo district through Jeremiah. Check them out. You won't be disappointed. I got lots more videos coming your guys' way. I got some big changes that are coming for us here in the near future. So if you're coming to Belize, love it, enjoy it, stay out of the BS. There's a lot of it going on, man. Find yourself a nice little place like this where you can get just be away from everything else and just enjoy life. So that's what it's about at the end of the day, just enjoying life and smiling. If you can't enjoy life and smile, why even bother, right? All right, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching.